Hey, what's up? I'm Allie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my September and October library haul. Originally I didn't do one in for September because I didn't feel like I had enough things. Now I feel like I should have just done a separate one because I have like 15 things to talk about now. Please forgive that I do have a cough drop in. I don't feel totally fantastic right now and my throat is starting to feel not great. This is just to soothe it as I talk a lot to you guys. So let's get into this. Let's start off with the things that I'm just going to go ahead and just do them all kind of collectively, and I'm just going to talk about the graphic novels and get those out of the way. One of the first graphic novels that I got was Lumberjanes Volume 12. This is about an all-girls camp and these group of friends that get into mischief and mayhem in the woods because there's magical things happening in the woods and they keep coming across it and they have to solve the problems that these magical creatures and things are causing. It's a lot of fun. I do believe that I talked about that in my September wrap-up. I also got Skyward Volume 3, which I also talked about in my September wrap-up. But basically, Skyward is one of my favorite graphic novels, and this was the last one. I didn't realize it was only like a trilogy thing, but it was the last one. This is a world where the gravity has been turned off, and it follows one girl who is trying to turn it back on, but people are after her because they don't want it on for business reasons, and therefore they're out to get her. Again, fantastic graphic novel series. Also got Rat Queens Volume 6. This is about a group of kind of misfit magical women who are kind of assassins, hired assassins. They take care of issues and deal with the problems going on for this town. It's very badass and dark and gritty. It's a lot of cussing, there's sex, like things like that. So you will see, have seen in my October wrap up that it was not fantastic. I also took out Moonstruck Volume 2, and this follows kind of like these magical creature human looking things. I don't know the best way to describe that. The first one follows like a magician has stolen like someone's magic and they're trying to get it back, and then this one is about a frat house that throws a party by fairies and they capture people in the frat house. I still don't really know why. It's kind of magical and it deals with like the relationships of the friends and the main character and her girlfriend and things like that. Another one that I got was Giant Days Volume, I think 11. But I love Giant Days. It follows a group of girls who go to university together, they're friends, and it just follows their day-to-day struggles. It's so relatable. They're constantly bickering and they have such different personalities and it just works so well somehow, and it's fantastic and I loved it, and I just wish I was part of that world and I was friends with them. I also checked out Oz, the Marvelous Land of Oz, which is the second in the Oz kind of retelling. They're not really retelling, they tell the story of the Wizard of Oz. Tell the story of the Wizard of Oz just in graphic novel form. I don't really know much of the Wizard of Oz outside of like the movie, so I had read the first one and I enjoyed it and I feel like I got an understanding, but now there are more beyond like that first kind of book, so I wanted to continue on with that. I didn't get around to it, but I had checked it out. And then another one that I got was Cheshire Crossing, which is really cute. It is Dorothy, Alice, and Wendy all kind of, as they're teenagers, they've been put into asylums for seeing these other worlds and stuff, but they end up going to one where the doctor knows that they can actually travel to different dimensions, and basically they happen to accidentally go to Oz and get things mixed up, and everything becomes chaos after that, and the Wicked Witch and Captain Hook end up getting together and they are going to try to take over the different worlds and such, and it's just really good, really cute. What's after that? I think that's it for the graphic novels. No, it's not. The last one is Pumpkinhead. It's really cute. It takes place at like this kind of fall themed amusement park type thing, but it follows Deja and Josiah, and they have worked together there, and it's their last year working together there, and Josiah likes a girl, but he's too afraid to talk to her, and Deja is basically like, okay, well, we're gonna go find her, and we're gonna go talk to her. It's your last day here, go live your life. So they go on these adventures throughout the park. They get to see the rest of the park outside of like their stations and their friendship. You get to know more about their friendship and things like that, and it's just such a cute story. I don't know why I was so aggressive about that. Then we have Hungry Hearts, and this is a collection of stories that is based around love and food. I didn't get around to it. I definitely plan on coming back to it. I just didn't have time. But it sounded really good. I'm always down for a good short story collection, and this one just sounded really cute. Come to me. Then we have Capturing the Devil, which is the final book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. And if you guys don't know what that is, it is about Audrey Rose, who really wants to cut open dead people and, you know, examine them and solve crimes and things. The first one follows her trying to solve the crimes of Stalking Jack the Ripper, and each one kind of takes place following someone else and somewhere else. Hey! Get out of there! So this one is, of course, much later, and it actually takes place in the US. They've come over to the US at this point. And I will say this one definitely follows the romance way more than it does the actual serial killer. This one is more based around, it's based around Chicago. It deals around it's like the World Fair in Chicago and some of the deaths that were around that. And I think there's something about, someone had mentioned that it was something, I'm not very good on remembering these types of names, but something like a hotel type of killing type thing. If you know what it is, let me know down below, because I cannot think of it off the top of my head right now. I have a phone in my hand. You think I would look it up? That would just be too much sense. So this is just the conclusion to that. I haven't enjoyed the last one and this one, so I'm kind of happy that I did not buy them. I might buy them to complete my collection, but honestly, I was so disappointed in this that I don't know how I feel. Next we have his Hideous Heart, which is a collection of short stories. It has the original Poe stories, and then it has 13 tales that are retold in like more of a modern day style, YA style, by different authors, various authors, and this was really interesting. I love the kind of retelling styles, and I thought that it was really good and really clever, so really happy I was able to get that. So I'd also checked out the Stranger Diaries, which is about this woman who teaches like a literature class, and she is obsessed with this story called The Stranger, and basically her coworkers start dying based around how the people died in The Stranger, and she's really creeped out by it. She goes home and she goes to write into her diary, and someone else has written in her diary, and she thinks that this person is killing off people to like impress her basically. So yeah, really interesting synopsis. And then I also picked up The Halloween Tree to read for Halloween by Ray Bradbury, and this just seemed like a classic. I feel like I should have read it for someone who's like all about the ooky spooky season. This has like fantastic drawings and stuff in it. I did end up listening to this, but I would say I would definitely recommend getting the book just to look at the different illustrations and stuff inside, because the illustrations are fabulous in this, and I just thought that they were really cool. But this follows a group of kids that are going trick-or-treating. They are all dressed up, and they go to pick up their one friend who is like their favorite friend. He's amazing. He sticks out of the group, but he's feeling ill, and he tells them to meet them at this house. So they go to this house and they watch as he is carried away by some creature, and some other creature is there, and he's like, don't worry, we're going to go back in time, we're going to get them. So they go to each time period that their costumes are kind of from, why it is that they're dressed up the way that they are, and why Halloween is the way that it is, and things like that, while trying to save their friend. And I thought it was really clever and really cool for such a short read on top of that. And then the last thing that I got is The End and Other Beginnings by Veronica Roth. So this is the author of Divergent. I only sort of liked some of that series, but I thought this was interesting. This is her collection of like sci-fi stories, and I'm really drawn to this cover. It's very, what's the word I'm looking, it's very reminiscent of Heart or Doorway kind of feel, if you know what I mean. Like, it's got these disconnected words kind of disappearing into the background. There's also like some interesting artwork and stuff going on in here. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I would like to get around to this. Again, I love short story collections, so might be something for me to check out. That's all I got. That is all. That is it. That's all of it. How many times can I say that? Yeah, I hope that you guys have liked this video. Let me know some of the books that you guys have checked out from your libraries recently. Don't forget to subscribe to see future library hauls from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next one. Bye!